Welcome to MMA Fancast. My name is Luke Payson, and I am honored to have a friend of mine and a friend of the show back on MMA Fancast, coming to you from Iceland, Cheyenne Batgirl Hall. Cheyenne, welcome back.
Hello, thank you for having me.
We've got two really exciting pieces of news we'll be talking about. One, you're in Iceland on a BJJ seminar trip, so we'll talk about that. And it's exactly a week removed from you getting your first pro MMA win. So we've got two big things to talk about. Which one do you want to talk about first? Those are our two big subjects. I'm so happy to have you on the show.
Ooh, so the fight came first. We'll do that first, I guess.
Perfect. All right, so you were down in Morgantown fighting for Made Men, their live MMA fights right there in Morgantown by the riverfront. Beautiful location. And you're a Morgantown, or at least you used to be a Morgantown girl. Now you're transplanted to Pittsburgh. So let's walk you through what was it like fighting in your hometown, and then we'll go round by round through your fight.
So yeah, fighting down there where I lived for so long, it was really special to me for sure. I've been, waiting to fight down there since I really started training, and I was hoping I could bring a win down there. So that was great. I came down like earlier in the week to start my weight cut and stuff. And so just like walking through downtown was like very nostalgic, and it was like a whole little thing. And my sister ended up being in town for like a summer class. So I got to like see some family too before, and we we had a good time there. But it was really great just being able to get a win in front of my friends and family who can't always come just because it's so far away from them, and the crowd was great. We came out with the win, so that's always good.
It is. That is exciting. You got your first pro MMA win, so that's always exciting news. Your opponent was very tough in game. Ended up being a very exciting fight for you, where you were in control of the vast majority of it in very dominant positions throughout. What do you remember from your experience of the first round?
So yeah, the first I was gonna say I think all the rounds went about the same. It was like a little bit of stand up and exchange on the feet, and then I was able to secure a takedown each round, and then from there just control staying on top and working our ground and pound and using some of the elbows we talked about, and the new tools. And I thought that I did a pretty good job, just controlling the positioning on the ground, and that's really where I was able to shine on this one.
Yes, absolutely. As a fan, I was not there in an official capacity. I was there for MMA Fancast, which was nice to be able to be there as a fan. It was exciting to see you so dominant. It also seemed like the fight likely could have been stopped at times, but your opponent continued to do her best. I mean, she made it the whole way through, but it certainly seemed like there was ground and pound is a weird thing. I think when fighters are standing and they go wobbly, it's more obvious. When you are taking damage on the ground, it's less obvious. But we have talked about you using the pro rule set, which you've been looking forward to way back to when we were talking when you were a pro. But let's talk about the fact. So that was really exciting. Let's talk about the fact that you said your hips and your positioning. You were in ground and pound. She would roll. Sometimes you'd be on her back, then she'd roll back, and it's a lot of hip movement. People might not always understand how easy it is to lose your base and to get thrown off and get out of position. So what was it like? I mean, minute after minute, 15 minutes total, probably 13 of them on the ground. What was it like constantly, having to float and having to maintain your position?
Well, I'm lucky that we just do that at the Math Factory every Sunday. Yeah. So we work on we do a lot of like Shark Tank rounds where, it's like a new person every minute and they post their positional. So I am able to like work that position a lot, and wrestling really helps with your base too, to all the wrestling stuff we've been doing. So I've gotten pretty good at like floating on top and not getting, rolled over or whatever. And she would try to kick her legs up against the cage and roll me over that way. But I was able to like pull them off. And so, yeah, we practice that every Sunday. Thank goodness.
She was trying the wall walk bridge, which can elevate your hips, then elevates hers, elevates yours, upsets your balance. So you did an incredible job. Your cardio from my position looked spectacular in there. I don't know how great you felt, but you went all 15 minutes, and even though I'm sure getting a ground and pound stoppage would have been nice, what was it like going that whole? I mean, I know you're a real worker in the gym. You know, you're known for your work ethic. Everybody at the Mat Factory is, but you yourself are a very effervescent personality, and you just seem like you love training, working out. So what was it like being able to go all 15 minutes of like a full professional fight?
So it would have been cool to get the ground and pound stoppage, but I am grateful that I was able to get the full 15 minutes, and just so that way I know that I can do it. And like, everybody's a little bit tired afterwards, but I wasn't like stuck in wind, I wasn't gassed, and I feel very confident that, that's a time span that I can fight over now, which is good, because it's a long time. It's a long time to be in there.
It is.
I know. I kept telling my mom, I'm like, that's half of an episode of Friends.
Oh, that's
And
right.
It's true.
Is it going to be the Brad Pitt Thanksgiving Friends episode? My favorite episode, when Rachel goes nuts and they have this war from back in high school. It was fantastic, but it's my favorite.
That's your favorite? My favorite, Smelly Cat.
Oh, of course. Gotcha. There you go. So do you, hopefully you're not picturing that episode as you're in there. Oh, I just have to keep going, but you did
I don't keep going until Brad Pitt shows up in the one part.
That's right. That's right. You really did an incredible job. What are some of the moments that stood out, that stood out for you? We want to make sure we obviously really talk about how great it is for you to have made the transition to pro. Your first pro fight was actually going very well until it wasn't. Sometimes those things happen, but you looked great in a lot of the clinch, just like the fight Saturday. You had a lot of great moments. So what stood out to you the most through your fight Saturday?
So I think probably the biggest strides that I feel like that I had made from my last camp to this one were like some of my boxing, what I feel like has been come a long way, but what I really got to showcase on Saturday was just that wrestling. Like we go to wrestling practice every Tuesday, so and I've really been on it about going every Tuesday, even though it's a rough practice sometimes. But I feel like I was able to just take her down at will and like execute my game plan from there. So I was really happy with that. I didn't have to do a whole lot of chain wrestling. I was able to just execute like the initial takedown, and then I feel like I did that well, and I feel like I kind of put everything together this time. So I feel like I did my striking and my wrestling together and meshed them well. I am the MAs.
Yes, you are the MMA, mixed martial arts. And obviously that's a very intelligent comment, in the sense that originally mixed martial arts was not the sport 30 years ago. The UFC started, some other ones. It was somebody would stay in their one art. So it was mixed martial arts in the sense of multiple martial arts competing against each other with a rule set that allowed for a wide variety. But it really took years for people to develop kind of what you showed, which is one fighter having all martial arts mixed together. Originally, it was mixed martial arts in the sense of martial arts competing against each other, but staying true to judo or staying true to BJJ or staying true to boxing. So it's really cool. And for you to have made it at the pro level, to be able to combine all those things, you looked incredibly good from everything from your size. I mean, you're a very physically fit 145er. It's just very exciting to see it all the way through. And obviously you're a really cerebral and aggressive. You don't usually get a combination between a very intelligent, cerebral chess MMA fighter, as well as also a very physically dominant. So where do you see this playing well in your MMA career going forward? The fact that you've mixed the MMA well, and you're starting to find your groove at the pro level.
Chris always tells me I think too much. So I think going forward, it'll just be, I'll just be fine tuning things. So hopefully, I'll be able to like continue to to string my punches and my takedowns together. Hopefully get a little bit more kickboxing in there next time. For the next fight, it wasn't the game plan for this one. So I would like to bring a little bit more of that in there. And I think really from here, it's just up. We stay in the gym, stay working and doing the same things, and just make everything a little bit more sharp.
I mean, that does make a lot of sense. Can't wait to see what you and obviously everybody at the Mat Factory. It's always exciting to see you guys compete. Uh, Chris Dempsey's got a great Worlds coming up in Poland in a couple weeks. So everybody in the Mat Factory, I think we've talked off. Yeah, we've talked off video. No, we talked on video about you getting ready for this fight, about how it was for you to watch Coach Isaac Greeley compete against Gray Maynard, and just kind of how competitive everybody is. So it's really, really, it's really, really exciting. Obviously, Coach Isaac Greeley was there. What is it like as one of his athletes to kind of get a win, but also get a pro MMA win under his tutelage? I know everybody that trains and works with him really wants to make the Mat Factory and Coach Isaac Greeley proud and excited. So what was that like backstage or after your fight with Coach Isaac Greeley?
Oh yeah. So I just am super, super fortunate to work with the coaches that I do. I like don't know how I got lucky enough to find these guys, but yeah, being backstage with Isaac is great. He's like, he always knows what to say. I mean, to just make you feel better, you know, he's like realistic about it, and he's great to get warmed up with. My whole team was great. So I'm hope I made those guys proud. And you know, we always go out there every day, and Isaac always leads us from the front. So he would never ask us to do anything that he won't do himself, which I always like think is really admirable, you know, in a coach. So.
Yeah, it definitely is. Everybody always says so many wonderful things about him. And I always like to bring this up from 247. He is the first and only member of the 247 Fighting Championships Hall of Fame. And that means quite a bit for what he's been doing. It's just really, really exciting. You had a teammate, Elijah Davis, get a nice win as well. So overall, fantastic overall night. So now let's talk about you guys being in Iceland. You win the unofficial, I guess it's official, MMA Fancast competition for doing the video from the longest distance away. So round of applause to you. Just incredible. So congratulations on that victory as well.
Thank you.
What has you and Chris Dempsey in Iceland, and what are you looking forward to doing over there?
Ooh, so we are over here for a jiu-jitsu seminar with Craig Jones and Lachlan Giles. They're coming up from Australia to teach a seminar here. So it's me and Chris and Renee Sousa, Harry Kitchta, and Paul Luck are also up here. I think Paul Luck might play us something on that piano over there.
Woo, baby.
Later. So yeah, the five of us are up here. We got an Airbnb. It's really nice. It's got like a sauna, and it's got a hot tub and a cold plunge. So we'll have like all the recovery stuff here in between training sessions. So I think we'll do 2 training sessions a day. It'll be like 8 a.m. and I think noon. We should be done and ready to do adventures by like 2 p.m. or so. I don't know, 2-ish.
Oh, yes. So it's going to be a combination of 2 training sessions a day, because that's why you guys are there, but also adventures. So what are you looking forward to in adventures? I know they have a famous black sand beach, which I'm sure hopefully you guys can get to. So what's on your list? I know you guys just arrived in Iceland. You were kind enough to jump on this to make this work. So you're fresh to Iceland, but what's on the list for your sightseeing in Iceland?
Well, everybody else gets here tomorrow. So me and Chris are having a date day today. I don't know what we're going to get into, but tomorrow we're doing the Blue Lagoon for sure. And that's one of the probably more touristy things we'll do, but you got to do the Blue Lagoon.
Sure.
So we're that. We'll probably go to the Golden Circle, I think it's called. I think that's pretty close. And maybe the West Fjords. We're going to decide once everybody gets here what we want to do, because on the weekend we're going to rent a car and just drive around after the seminar's over. So we're going to see what all we can fit into this week. I'm excited to try. I hear their ice cream here is really good, and I'm not going to wait, and I can have some.
That's right. Yeah, it's a win-win. I'm so glad that you're not doing the Iceland trip before your fight. That would have been very disappointing. So that's exciting. Interesting that Iceland is known for its ice cream. I mean, that would make sense when you think about it, you know. So very, very, very cool. You said the trainers, Craig Jones, coming up from Australia. So obviously this is a lot shorter and easier to get to Iceland than Australia. So that makes a lot of sense. What are you looking forward to? Is there something Craig Jones and others are sort of known for? Like, I know everybody in BJJ community kind of has their own style. What is he known for? What are you looking forward to getting out of the seminar while you're over there?
So I've heard that we are probably going to do a lot of leg lock stuff for this seminar. That's what the word on the street is. So that's not normally something that I do a whole lot of drilling of. So I'm just excited to like learn something new and be able to focus on just jujitsu for a little bit because normally we're focusing on, especially leading up to a fight, you're just focusing on what you have to do for that one event. And so it'll be nice to focus on like maybe do some leg locks and some jujitsu this week. We'll see.
Well, to me, that's always exciting. And having been cage side for Sprawl in the Berg 1 at the highest level of BJJ, I know you were there. It was such a great night. There was a lot of 50-50 guard. There was a lot of leg locking. There's a lot of, at the pure sort of highest nationally, internationally ranked guys. And of course, it was incredible what BJJ brought to the table for Sprawl in the Berg. But it makes sense that at the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament level, there's a lot of techniques that sometimes just don't have the opportunity. There was some Ryan Hall in your distant cousin Ryan Hall got leg locks in the UFC, but it's certainly exciting to kind of round out your BJJ. Are you looking after this training? Are you looking to doing a tournament? I know you've done BJJ before. Is there a tournament coming up? Is there a super fight? The 247 has a super fight. BJJ coming up in December, and also an MMA fight. What would you like to do in the BJJ world?
I would like to do one more MMA fight before the end of the year if I can. So I want to try to focus on that, and then, maybe do what I like. If a super fight comes up, I would do it. I would probably do it as long as it was, close and didn't interfere with like my fight training schedules. But, I think normally we do that Veteran Bushido tournament that it raises money for veterans and all that for that nonprofit, but we'll be at a wedding, so that would normally be the next thing that we would do. But that's October 7th for everybody that will be in town. Definitely go and check that out. It's my favorite tournament. It's so fun.
A great shout out there. So best skills to all the competitors and coaches and teams competing there. Just super exciting, always fun chatting with you, your energy and your excitement. There were a whole lot of Batgirl shirts in the crowd, so it's just got a lot of support. It was wonderful to see you. I appreciate you holding the record now for coming in from the longest distance over video. So congrats to you. I hope you and Chris and everybody at the seminar has a really good time. So thanks so much. I'm so excited to say that I've been talking with Cheyenne Hall, now victorious pro MMA fighter, and also coming to you from the great country of Iceland. Thanks so much, Cheyenne.
Thanks, Luke.
You enjoy your time over there. Take care.
I will. Goodbye.